Nate McMurray, June 11, 2026. Go Knicks.
Brunson gets it, fires up a three. Shot no good. The tip, it's gone. It's gone. It's gone. With 1.2 remaining. Knicks take the lead.
I'm not going to belabor this too much, but what an amazing comeback. I like Wemby, by the way. I love Wemby. I think he's great. I think he's great for sports. I think he's got a really good perspective on life. I think he's a cool kid. I like Wemby. But I am rooting for the Knicks. It's been a long, long time. I think basketball back in New York would be great for basketball. And man, OG, the legend OG, holy cow. I loved him when he was at the Raptors. I wish they would have never traded him. I'm a Raptors fan first. I'm not going to lie. I love the Knicks because they're from New York, but I mean, Toronto's around the corner. And I've gone to games with my kids. I saw the Kawhi championship with my kids. I don't want to fake here. That's my team. And when they traded OG, I was like, don't trade that guy. He's amazing. Look at this shot. I mean, just hand of God.
Shot no good. The tip, it's gone. It's gone. It's gone. With 1.2.
I was impressed. I'm always impressed by him. He is a strong guy. He goes to the hoop hard. He's amazing. But we're not here to talk about basketball, are we? Maybe a little more.
I'm Nate McMurray.
Oh, I'll go to this. But first,
You just hit the game-winning shot in an NBA Finals game in front of your home crowd. How does that feel?
It feels cool. I mean, everyone's pretty excited. I'm excited too.
it's a Kawhi answer. It feels, he just hit one of the greatest shots in NBA history. Feels cool. I guess so. Let's hear it again.
The game-winning shot in an NBA Finals game in front of your home crowd. How does that feel?
It feels cool. I mean, everyone's...
So back when I was a kid, I used to think I could play basketball. I still love basketball. And I used to imagine myself, I was like, if I get on the court in the NBA game, I could score. I do not think that anymore. The players are so ridiculously good. The stuff I'm seeing in current NBA games, all those guys are like, Jordan was better. Are you kidding me? Have you seen these players now? On an average night, they're doing things that Jordan never dreamed of. Sorry. I know Jordan looked cool. I mean, LeBron is a whole nother thing because he's such a genetic freak. He could play in any era. But like I'm telling you, these guys who make the players we grew up with look amateur. I'm not even sure guys like Dominique Wilkins could play in today's league. The skill sets are so amazing. Left hand, right hand, shooting from every angle. The defensive intensity in these games, I've never seen anything like it. Now maybe I'm wrong, but I remember the NBA Finals when Danny Ainge and Dan Marley were covering Jordan. I just never saw anything like this in my life. The basketball is incredible. It is. I mean, the athletes. These are the greatest athletes in the world. And football or whatever. No, these guys. Look at OG. Look at OG's shoulders. How are you going to stop OG in any sport? Did you see how he takes it to the rim? He is going to the rim like he's a supernatural spirit of some sort, not like a human being. It is just unbelievable, the power of these guys. It's like they're almost demigods. I don't want to pay homage to these basketball players like they're supernatural, but what they're doing with their bodies is almost incredible. Well, not almost. It is incredible. So way to go, Knicks. One of the best games I've ever seen in my life. I'm a little sleepy because of it, but one of the best games I've ever seen. All right, let's talk about some local stuff, all right? So there's multiple projects that are happening right now that are causing the devastation of our area. Let's talk about the past first, though. So if you drive to Niagara Falls, New York, and I talk to a lot of visitors, they expect to be driving through some idyllic valley where they're going over the hills and they see like the Teletubbies in the distance or something. Or they see the guys from Lord of the Rings riding on horseback. What they actually see is old, rotten out, terrible chemical factories. Now, check this, but I'm pretty sure some of those factories were actually owned by or controlled by Arnie Hammer, the guy who allegedly is a cannibal, the actor, the Hollywood actor. I think his grandfather owned some of these or had controlling interest in some of these factories. But anyway, these factories, we were told back then, are going to change our lives and and make Western New York better and make this a megalopolis. The whole world will be running to Niagara Falls to live. And what did they do, actually? They poisoned our people. You know what Love Canal is. Some of you young people don't even know what Love Canal is. There should be a giant monument over there. Why isn't there a huge statue of Lois Gibbs and the people who fought, and John LaFalce and the people who fought the pollution at Love Canal? What happened is Hooker Chemical put a bunch of dangerous chemicals in the ground, and then they sold the land to a school district, and they built a community and a school on top of those chemicals. And a lot of people got very sick. A lot of birth defects happened. It was a horrible time in our history. And we thought we learned from this, right? But we still haven't learned from it. I remember when I was running for Congress and I said, we have to remove the rest of those chemical factories. There's barely anybody working there and they're still polluting us. And I remember people said, shut up, Nate, those are good jobs. How many good jobs? 12 good jobs in exchange for 12 or 20 good jobs. We're going to poison all of Western New York forever. It's stupid. It's not long-term thinking. It's short-term thinking. Tonawanda Coke. When we fought Tonawanda Coke on the other side of the island, everyone was like, those are good jobs. Shut up, Nate. By the way, no politicians except for Joe Eminger, and I can't remember his name, the old mayor of Tonawanda, they were with me. Most of the other politicians in the region could care less about Tonawanda Coke. They wouldn't show up to the meetings. They wouldn't talk about it. It was like they were afraid to offend any of the industrial interests that wanted those jobs and wanted that company to continue, even though the cost of those few jobs was the destruction of so many people's lives and health and livelihood. Anyway, we fought Tonawanda Coke. They tore it down. I was happy to see that. And by the way, people say, well, Nate, you didn't do anything about that. Sure, I did. I was part of a big movement. We had press conferences. I can show you the videos. And every time I did one of those press conferences, I got nasty letters and some nasty calls from politicians. But we beat it. And guess what? Now they're like, well, let's replace Tonawanda Coke with a freaking data center. Oh my God. Let me tell you about data centers for a second. We're making the same mistake our parents and grandparents did with the Niagara River. We're making the same mistake, okay? This is not going to create long-term jobs. It is not going to create long-term prosperity for our region. It's going to poison our region with pollution, high energy bills, and destruction. Once you build those data centers, they're almost impossible to get rid of. Have you heard what they sound like? The nonstop screeching. Have you heard that? And you want to put that on the Niagara River? We've just started to turn the corner on this history of industrial exploitation. And now we're going to say, well, let's go to the next exploiter. Let's go to the data centers. That's our future. Now, if you believe in the free market, which some of you do, you would think that, well, everyone would be fighting for these data centers, that they're so great for the future, but nobody wants them. Why do you think so lowly of Western New York and Niagara Falls and Niagara County that you would say, oh, our only option is data centers? Is that what Lake Tahoe is doing? Is that what Yosemite is doing? Is that what Yellowstone is doing? Are they putting giant data centers a mile away from Old Faithful? Are you kidding? So why would we do that with Niagara Falls? Now, we have to mobilize here. We can stop this. There is an opportunity to stop it right now. We need statewide legislation that says we will never have data centers in the Niagara corridor. Never, ever. And for those who are saying this is the future, it isn't. This is an interim technology. Right now, people like Elon, and I don't like Elon, but people like Elon are thinking about putting data centers in outer space. Literally, look it up. Now, so is that a good thing? I'm not so sure. The Chinese are putting them in the bottom of the ocean. What I can tell you is definitely not a good thing is putting them all up and down the Niagara River like we did with chemical factories in the past. Are we nuts? We're going to make the same mistakes they made? Now, for those who are saying we have to do this, look at the Canadian side. Do you see hulking, ugly chemical factories all along the Canadian side? You see them in steel plants over in Hamilton, but you don't see anything like that on the Canadian side. They emphasize agriculture and tourism. And what are they building across the way? A $2 billion state-of-the-art hospital, while our hospital in Niagara County continues to fail. It's a joke. By the way, if that hospital in Niagara County closes, we'll never have another child born in a hospital in Niagara County. That's where people have their babies. So we're not investing in things that are good for people. We're investing in good things that are good for foreign data companies. And like, well, we need data companies. We don't need them on the Niagara River. That's for sure. Now, there's also talk of companies like NVIDIA paying people to put solar panels on your house, and then you put a little data center on the side of your house. Now, I don't know if that's a good idea either, but my point is this technology, the version of it that we're seeing today, is not going forward. Now, I got a text from a leader, an industrial leader, who's got a lot of influence. I'm not going to name him, but we were supposed to meet with him. Now, it's not a corporate leader. It's someone usually on the Democratic side. I'll just leave it at that. And they're like, we're not meeting with Nate. He's against data centers, and there's a lot of jobs for these data centers, and we're against Nate. We're going to go for the Republican. And I'm like, well, typical. I've been through this 100 times. It's just like typical. When you stand for something good, people try to stop you. And I tell this guy, go to hell. Listen, this is why people say Nate's crazy. Well, because I'm not going to sell out for votes. I'm sorry, I'm not going to do it. Or anything, or a job, or a position, or a whatever. I'm not doing it, especially for this. I mean, there's something about humans that we don't often forget. It's kind of hard to talk about, but we're immortal. We all stop. We all end. I don't want to leave my kids and my grandkids with decisions that are terrible for them, like our forefathers did with these stupid chemical factories. But he's like, these are going to create hundreds of jobs. I'm like, no, they're not. Temporary construction jobs? We're going to sell the future for temporary construction jobs? So for those who don't know, there is a huge company called Niagara Falls Redevelopment. It's owned by a guy named Howard Milstein, who's a billionaire in New York City. Part of the reason why Niagara Falls is such a mess is because all of downtown Niagara Falls is owned by Howard Milstein. Not all of it, but hundreds of acres, okay? That huge swath of land where you drive through the city and you're like, why is everything falling apart? It's owned by a developer who never does any development. And his great scheme now is I'm going to build a data center or pretend I'm going to build a data center maybe and just, get the city or the state to buy me out. That's usually what they do. They pretend they have a project and they get the city or the state to buy them out. They own, by the way, the Turtle. Yeah, the Native American History Museum, that's been closed for 30 years. They also own that. People are like, why is the Turtle closed? Well, because Niagara Falls Redevelopment and a billionaire that gives money to Chuck Schumer and to every Democrat and also, well, not every, but a lot of Democrats and almost every Republican controls the region. And he pays people to come down and say, hey, it's all those people from Buffalo coming to lie to you about the turtle. These aren't really Native Americans who want the turtle restored. It's a bunch of people, outsiders. Baloney. Everybody wants the turtle restored. Except for Niagara Falls Redevelopment, because they want to be bought out for millions and millions of dollars. That's what they do. They get more and more land. They hold on to it as long as they can. And then until it's painful for the city, painful for the state, and then we buy them out. That's what they do. That's their business model. I'm not telling you any secrets here. This is all in the public record. And now they're like, oh, we're going to do a data center. And now these other jokers over there, Tonawanda, we're going to do a data center. Tell them to go to hell. Go to my website, voteNateMcMurray.com. Go to my Facebook page, Nate McMurray. Look me up. It's easy to find me. Look for the petition we started on change.org. These industrial interests think they're bigger than you. They're bigger than local politics. They're bigger than town councils. They laugh at you. I've been in the room when they were laughing at you. They don't think you matter. They think they can force these data centers down our throat. And again, if people wanted them, why wouldn't they be fighting for them all over the country? They're not. Everyone's rejecting them. Does it make sense that one of the most beautiful rivers in the world should say, oh, yeah, this is the best place for a data center? Are you kidding me? Moving on to the next crazy subject, which is the Cambria solar power.
Plants here at Channel 2. And today we looked at this subject of a new solar panel installation on farmland in the town of Cambria in Niagara County. The town...
Let me say to you, they spent almost $1 million trying to fight this. Who? Republican leadership in Cambria. Congratulations to you. Now, there might be stupid reasons why they fought it, but there are some good reasons too. I'm for, unlike data centers on the Niagara River, I'm for solar, just not in Cambria. Okay? Just not on the prime farmland. The Bible says, right? For every time there is a season and place under heaven, or I'm misquoting it, but you know what I'm saying. There's an appropriate time and place for everything. You don't put a toilet in the middle of your living room. You don't put 2,000 football fields of solar panels on prime farmland. I mean, why would we do that? And that hurts the vineyards, the tourism industry, all of it. We're talking 2,000 football fields. I mean, literally one of the biggest solar projects anywhere. And it's going to be on farmland that we all grew up picking and seeing and eating fruit from. Go to the North Tonawanda Farmers Market, the fruit's coming from there. The vegetables are coming from there. And now no, actually the future is solar panels on that land. We can't find any place better for solar panels. Are you kidding me? And who owns it? A company called Cypress Creek. Sounds like a local place, right? Oh, Cypress Creek. Cypress Creek is a Swedish company. And listen, Sweden is way ahead of us in a lot of ways on green energy, but they wouldn't be putting it on Swedish farmland. Let me tell you that. They wouldn't be doing it. They're doing it here because it's cheap and they can make more money. So that's all in the books. They lost the case, but guess what? Now the local Republicans are like, we know we lost, so we might as well give them money. Give them a program so we can get some money out of it. And how much money? What kind of tax program are they giving them? $30 million, $27 million. $27 million package is what they're giving this Swedish company, Cypress Creek, which is really owned by a Swedish parent company. They're giving them $30 million nearly, and they're pretending it's no big deal. Well, we have to. We lost the case. If it's a profitable company, first of all, I'll take a step back. Why the heck is New York State forcing this on local municipalities? Again, I'm a Democrat, but I believe in free market principles. If this was really such a great project, communities would be fighting for it. All right? They're not, because nobody wants to put solar panels on prime farmland. Let me tell you about Western New York farmland. Why is it so good? I said this before. George Washington said we're going to have wars over this farmland because it's so good. Because in the last ice age, when the Great Lakes formed and Niagara Falls formed and the Finger Lakes formed, huge mile-high, 2-mile-high, 3-mile-high walls of ice pushed all the soil from Canada down here into southern Ontario and western New York. That's why you have the, quote, Canadian Shield, all that exposed rock in northern Canada. 70% of Canada is rock, exposed rock, because the soil came here, that rich soil that we can farm with. And we're going to get rid of that, strategic advantage and say, well, that's what we should do is the Republicans in Niagara County have a great idea. Let's just fund this project we failed to stop. Let's just fund it and pretend it's not a big deal and that we have no choice. You have lots of choices. Who's making money on this funding deal? Who's the bond lawyer? So they had a town hall. And you weren't even allowed to ask questions. People were allowed to complain, but they didn't even have any answers. Who's the bond lawyer? Who's making money? How much money are we losing in taxes? What's the long-term environmental effects of putting all these solar panels on prime farmland? Listen, it makes me sad because I think this is the kind of project that gives green energy a bad name. Because people see this and they're like, this is beyond our control. You've taken away local control. You're changing our way of life. This sucks. And I get it. And I'm with you guys. But you're not going to get there fixing it by saying, well, let's give power to the same people that are funding it, the local Republicans that control everything. All right. Now, one more thing I want to talk about. A couple more things, actually.
There's also a new...
I'll get to this. I'll get to the national stuff in a second. I just had a town hall, right? Or a forum hosted by the Niagara Gazette. I think they have a video. I'm not sure. I went to this open forum where as a candidate I spoke. And it was insane because none of the Republicans showed up. They didn't come. It was just me and the newspaper and some local guy. I don't even know who Ed or something like that. It was like the just completely ignored it. I don't have to show up for the local Niagara Gazette's event, the local newspaper. I don't have to go. That's how entitled they think they are. That's how entitled to your vote they think they are. They don't even think they have to show up and answer questions to the public. I sat there for almost 2 hours and answered any question anyone in the audience wanted to ask me. 2 hours. My opponent wasn't there. Neither was this other guy's opponent. They just said, we don't have to go to this. It doesn't matter. People will vote for us because we're Republicans. You know, like as if I'm out there like advocating for like they paint you with such a broad brush. Like, so what do I really believe in? So that I'm so scary because I'm a Democrat. I'm a Democrat because I'm a JFK Democrat. Okay? I believe in America and an America that gives everybody a chance, meaning that you and your kids can work hard and have a better life than people that in your family before. That you have a way to step up, that you can make your life better through hard work. That's what I believe in. So I believe that a system has to be designed that has Social Security benefits, healthcare benefits, and other things that help make your life easier so you can invest in your businesses and your life and your education and make your life better. That's it. Do I think you should have a free ride? No. I believe in merit and effort. What I don't believe is what we have right. What I don't believe in is what we have right now. We're a country where no matter how hard you work, there's a less of a likelihood that you will advance than in any other industrialized or developed country in the world. Did you know that? The chances that you will do better than your parents are now worse here than almost anywhere else. And instead of investing in our people, like lots of Republicans used to promise, we're investing in what? Tax breaks for solar farms for Swedish companies and data farms. Like, listen, if you're a Trump supporter and you voted because, like, listen, we need to do something to change this. I always say this. I get it. I don't agree with it, but I get why you voted for Trump in some ways because the system is so rigged and both sides do look so bad. But I talk to a lot of wealthy Republicans right now. And what they tell me? I like Trump because taxes are lower for corporations. That means my company makes more money. And guess what else? The stock market has done pretty good. So I get from a self-interested standpoint why they like Trump. But why do you working people of Niagara County like Trump? Are tariffs helping your farms? And even for you rich guys, how's the stock market doing lately? Not great. Not great. This war is a joke. And it's just, by the way, we're just starting to feel the effects of this war. Most of you don't even know we have a war. I talk to people like, hey, something's happening, right? No, something really big is happening. $3 billion a day is being wasted on a war nobody wanted. Nobody wants it. It's fiasco territory, okay? So we need to shake things up for real this time. If you want to shake things up in Niagara County, who's going to shake it up more than me? Sorry to sound arrogant, but that's the fact. You got to give me a chance to shake it up because what's happening, these people not showing up for events is a joke. Now let's talk Epstein for a second. God forbid I say this. Let's Marjorie Taylor Greene of all people. I have to quote her because maybe you'll listen to her because you used to like her. Listen to this.
Out today, an extensive report that's in the New York Times, and it's based on Maggie Haberman and Jonathan Swan's upcoming new book that's about to be published called Regime Change. And they write in this new report today about how the release of the Epstein files, debating over how to handle Jeffrey Epstein, basically paralyzed the White House. And there were meetings in the Situation Room even where obviously, of the utmost national security concern, meetings pertaining to that happened. When you read that and you hear that the president's team, the vice president, the chief of staff, everyone's meeting inside the sit room about Jeffrey Epstein, what does it tell you about how they viewed that story?
Well, unfortunately, that's not new news to me. Unfortunately, that was something that I lived through. I watched the Speaker of the House shut down the government and keep the House completely out of session for 8 weeks in the fall of 2025, simply because he was under orders of the president and his team not to do anything in the House of Representatives because they were doing everything they could do to stop that resolution from passing.
I mean, Marjorie Taylor calls Trump a traitor on this issue. If I can get to that point, it's pretty wild. What a
pedophiles and rapists of the elite class of people that never get held accountable for anything. So if they,
guys, this Epstein scandal is crazy. They had meetings in the Situation Room where Trump was panicking that his secrets were going to come out. And J.D. Vance was saying, maybe Tucker Carlson should interview Ghislaine Maxwell. And whatever you say, this is all a hoax. Okay, if it's a hoax, why was Ghislaine Maxwell held guilty? Why was she found guilty of helping molest children? And if that's true, which it is true, why is she now in a minimum security prison after she met with Trump's lawyer, who is now going to be the head of the Department of Justice? It is beyond the debauchery of ancient Rome. It is like crazy scandal and cover up that I can't believe. You know, we're almost numb to it because we've seen so much and it's been so ugly for so long. But this is sad. It's sad for our country. And, you know, I have some hope, though. I see some hope. I see people are turning on Trump.
Where's
the video?
You were the first one to...
Let me look it up real quick. The Trump booing videos. Hold on. I'll find it. Here's Madison Square Garden.
There may be some dispute today over...
I know. I'll find it in a second. Where are we? Sorry, guys. Oh, here we go. Ready? They introduced Trump. Does that sound like Cheers? Does that sound like Cheers to you? Does that sound like Cheers to you? How about this one?
I thought it was great. I mean, I thought it was amazing, actually. You mean when they had the camera on me? I thought it was very good, yeah.
Very good. He wants you to ignore what you saw and heard with your own eyes. Look at this. Look at these people.
Trump booed at Madison Square Garden. What? Why? So, who cares? By 10 people? Still your president! TDS is strong. Best president ever. People these days have zero integrity. Soros is writing a lot of checks tonight. He wasn't booed. I heard cheering. I heard cheers. Lots of cheers too. I heard both boo and clapping. Cheers for him too. Tell the whole story. More cheers than boos. He wins. They always say he got booed. The libs booed. The Americans cheered.
They booed him. And they also booed him in Central Park in a way. I mean, the thing that's shocking is they booed him during the national anthem. That's the shocking thing. Did you see the people flashing the middle fingers? I mean, the fact that they want you to pretend that didn't happen, you know, that's the scary thing. Do you remember when Obama used to go to basketball games and sit in the crowd and shake hands and stuff? We are so far from what that was like. I mean, this is crazy.
I heard USA chanting. I heard cheering. God bless the USA, US flag, eagle.
You heard cheering? Let's listen to the cheering. All right. Okay. That's a Korea World Cup video. Pardon that for getting in there. All right. So, who's to blame for this whole mess, this war and everything else? Well, we know. Well, Trump wants you to blame somebody else. He's the guy in charge, but he doesn't want any accountability. Let's listen to this.
I think you were the first one to speak up, and you said, let's do it, because you can't let them have a nuclear weapon.
Look at Pete X's face. Look at Pete X's face. He's like, uh-oh.
And, Pete, I think you were the first one to speak up.
By the way, America was bombing water plants yesterday, apparently, reportedly. How do you feel about that? That's a war crime. For what? What are we doing this for? To be in a worse position than we were before? And for those of you out there who are like, well, Nate, we had to do it. Nuclear weapons. Come on, man. They have their army seems stronger than ever. I thought we beat them. Last night we were exchanging shots with them while they're shooting up American bases. I mean, this is just a tragedy. Look you don't have to double down on Trump or the Republicans. Your job is to hold leadership accountable. All right? They're not doing their job. Switch it up. If you were running a company and a guy was screwing everything up every single day and the counter was on fire, would you say, yeah, I'm going to promote him? It's time to switch it up. This is my video on data centers.
Murray, making this video to ask for your help. We need to stop data centers on the Niagara River. The Niagara River is beautiful. 80% of North America.
I can't stand those videos where you selfie videos because it doesn't look anything like you.
Why would we put toxic, polluting data centers along the river? Canada's not doing it. Just like Canada never put giant chemical factories up and down the river. We did. That was the mistake of our parents or grandparents' generation, people that came before us. And those chemical factories polluted our region. We know the stories like Love Canal.
Yep.
Why would we repeat those same mistakes? Or
Well
similar
said,
mistakes?
Nate.
Data centers are a new technology. It will change. What do we do when the current data centers are obsolete?
Good question.
How do we tear them out?
Good
now,
question.
I heard some of you might say, well, those are great jobs, Nate. No, they're not.
No, they're not.
They barely produce any jobs. Maybe some construction jobs to start with, but then they go away. I heard the same arguments when we fought Tonawanda-Coke up the other side of the island.
I sound so
said, hey, those are good jobs.
more serious here.
But that place was
But I should be.
the people around it, polluting this area, making money on our health. Why would we do the same thing again and put a data center there? There are giant industrial forces right now.
Yep, there are. I'm talking to them. They're like, screw you, Nate. We're going to do this anyway. They can't stop us. People don't get. The people don't matter. They'll vote for Republicans. I'm talking to
Remind our
them.
politicians they have to listen to us.
If you vote, they do.
We do not want to make the same mistakes people before us
No,
did
we don't.
and exploit this for short-term.
No, we don't.
This area for short-term gain. Why do we think so little of our home?
I don't know.
Do you think other places like the towns around Yosemite or Lake Tahoe or these other beautiful places are saying, hey, let's put data centers atop a half dome?
Good point. No one else would do it.
Why would we do it at Niagara Falls?
We shouldn't.
Why do you think so lowly of this place?
This is pretty meta. I'm
Fight
sorry.
back. If data centers were such a great thing, people would be fighting for them. That's
They're
how
not.
the free market works. They wouldn't be fighting against them all over the country. There's a reason why no
Talk
one
to your
wants them,
leaders.
because they hurt areas like this long term, especially areas like this that depend so heavily on agriculture, so heavily on tourism. Fight data centers. Help me. Let's not make the same mistakes that our parents and grandparents and people that came before us
Yes.
made. Short-term profit that
Yes.
exploits our region. We still see the after effects of. Look at those chemical factories still sitting there, probably still poisoning us along the Niagara River.
Yep.
Let's fix that and stop this while we can.
I gotta say, I look better in this than these selfies. I hate them. Sorry to be so vain, but these selfie videos, I can't stand it. But they're effective. People feel like they relate more to these type of videos than an actual camera. I have a really nice camera here. This is my stupid phone camera. It looks like the angle is just so off. Sorry to be so vain.
101.
Here we go.
Gets it, fires up a three.
Never,
No good. The
never
chip is gone.
give
It's
up.
gone. It's gone.
Never, never give up.
1.2 remaining. Knicks take the lead.
All right, guys. See you soon.
101. Brunson gets it, fires up a three.
Never,
Shot no good.
never
The chip is
give
gone.
up.
It's gone.
Never, never give up.
All right, guys. What kind of song is this? All right, take care. Love you. Keep fighting. Be strong. Go to votenatemcmurray.com. Let's win for once. Let me get in power. Let me get in a position of authority so I can fight for you. Stop the clear cutting on Grand Island. Stop the data centers on the river. Stop the solar panels on our farmland. Come on, man.
Never, never give up. Never, never give up.
What up, G?
All right, see you later. Talk to you soon.